What are your thoughts on that?
Ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous.
One woman's opinion.
Welcome to Eyemouth. We're a wee, peaceful fishing village in the Scottish borders. Except things haven't quite been so peaceful as of late. So, what's going on? Well, it's got a lot to do with that building behind me. Or rather, this building. This is Eyemouth Primary School. Well, for now anyway. For over 20 years, Scottish Borders Council have been promising the community of Eyemouth a brand new primary school. And now we're getting one. So, what's the issue?
Yeah, I think it is a good idea to have the primary school and the high school all together because everything's in one place. My only underlying fear is that what's the situation with shared toilets? Are they going to have different break times? That might be better.
What are your thoughts on that?
Ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. The small children should be downstairs and the big ones upstairs.
So, after being out on the streets, it's clear these plans are quite controversial.
But what actually are the plans? Let's go and have a look.
Just to clarify, they're not building a new primary school or extending the high school, they're just...
No, there's no
Doing the top
proposal to extend or build a new primary school. The proposal, as it stands in the consultation, is to put the upstairs of the high school as the primary.
Is there room for that?
I don't know. I don't know.
So, from a safeguarding point of view, is it safe to have teenagers and young children sharing a building?
I've had a lot of parents question that. I think because what myself and the other two councillors were shown was a proposal to put an extension on the back of the high school. So what I expected to come out was a proposal where there was an extension, quite a large one, to the back of the high school. That's not something that's in this proposal.
The thing a lot of people can't really understand is why can't they build the new primary school where the old high school was? Was that not the point of knocking down that building? To create space?
The building was knocked down when there was a campus plan and there was a lot of issues with that plan. There was issues with putting things like citizens' advice into, and then people decided, they wanted a standalone primary school, but SBC didn't follow through on what was asked of them at the time, and we ended up without a school at all.
So, just to confirm, they are not extending the existing high school, they are just building the primary school onto the top floor.
The top floor will be converted into a primary school, and the technical department, according to what's in the consultation as it stands now, is going to be a smaller innovation centre, which started off as a STEM centre, which is science and technologies.
Yeah.
But the technical department alone is at least 3 classes at the minute, and the plans in the consultation, it's shrinking that down to 1 class.
The high school's going to be missing out if they're cutting the capacity.
Yes, technical will shrink, and I know that in that proposal, the green power race cars,
Yes.
that's one of the main talking points of that consultation, seen as a benefit for moving the primary school into the high school. It could be a shared project. That project won't exist. The volunteers who run it have said if they lose the space, it just won't exist.
Primary school have got a lot of teacher assistants, and so do the high school. So will jobs be merged? Will everyone be guaranteed their job is got on?
I don't have an answer for that one. The only thing that I am concerned about is the canteen being shared.
Yes.
At the minute, the primary school has its own canteen and its own canteen staff. I don't know how they plan to work one canteen, whether they're bringing staff from the primary in, or if those staff won't be needed. I honestly don't know.
So hello, I'm Rory. I run the Eyemouth Variety Group and Eyemouth Eyemouth and District Community Youth Theatre Group. Pauline Grieve started it in 1988, doing 2 shows a year, using the old high school hall, which is now occupied by the primary school. But as we know, through plans from SBC, that's going to be demolished, so that would leave us with nowhere to produce our pantomimes, produce our shows, which is a real community impact for us.
It would be a real loss to the community.
Yeah, we have about 60 kids in our show this year.
That's them learning social skills and building confidence, and
definitely. Next generation of performers, and that's not going to be happening anymore if the plans do go ahead. It's just such a shame that SBC are just overlooking that completely. You can't go up to the new high school because there's no changing facilities for the kids. If we were to put them up there, it would be a child protection issue because they have football training and all that stuff on. So we wouldn't be able to choose the PE changing rooms. There's then also not the backstage storage space on that stage. There's no curtain rails. There's nothing for us to be putting on a performance at the new high school. Also, the fact that that is a classroom, the stage at the new high school for the drama department. So, yeah, we wouldn't be able to kick them out for a whole 2 weeks while we get prepared for our shows.
So there is a counter proposal, and that would see a standalone primary school getting built where it currently is now, and that would include facilities such as a new assembly hall, which could be used for a mixed-use community space. So really what you're saying is that if these plans go ahead and the old high school is knocked down, then you'd lose.
We would, Eyemouth Variety Group would be no more.
I'm Liz Batley, I'm a GP. I've been a GP for over 30 years and I've worked locally. I'm a partner in a local practice for over 20 years. I also have 5 children and they've all attended the high school, and 2 are currently still at the high school, aged 16 and 14. I came today because I currently am seeing an epidemic of mental health problems in young people. The main issues that we're seeing are people with anxiety, people with low mood, people with eating disorders, and people with neurodiversity. Now, one of the big things that's leading to is it's leading to young people not being able to access school because they're too anxious or their mental health's too poor that they can't even get over the door and they can't actually access education. Now, in Scotland at the minute, 29% of pupils are persistently absent. That means they're absent for more than 10% of the time. We know that a massive cause of this is mental health, particularly anxiety, and particularly people that aren't able to get to school because of the mental health. Now, I can tell you, as someone that literally sits every single day with young people and with parents, that putting young children and primary schoolers on the same site as a high schooler is going to be so detrimental to their mental health. It's actually going to be damaging. You're going to really make it difficult for people with anxiety to even get into that setting, never mind cope when they're in it. Can you imagine if you're a child with anxiety going to a school that suddenly has hundreds more people, it's got all that extra noise, it's got all those different age ranges with all their different needs. There is no way that you are going to be able to meet the mental needs of a child in that, particularly any child that is vulnerable. Another key thing we need to consider is that about 1 in 8, 1 in 9 children have got neurodiversity. Now at the minute, we're struggling to get all those children diagnosed and struggling to get them all help. But what we do know as well is children with neurodiversity will do particularly badly in this kind of setting, which is loud, noisy, full of lots of different change. It's not going to be appropriate. So you're actually setting our children up to fail and you're actually damaging the mental health. And I'm very, very concerned about it. And I've actually just spoken to someone from the council today. I've asked them if there has been an impact done on children's health and well-being. They actually don't even know if such a piece of work has been done. So this is a once-in-a-generation change. It's going to impact thousands of children's lives. And I don't think there's even been a proper health and well-being assessment, particularly a mental health assessment of how it's going to impact our children, and particularly our vulnerable children.
So what do you make of these plans to put the primary school on the top floor of the high school?
It's not good.
How not?
It's going to be tight, people-wise, in the school. and then no less parking going about.
Safety concerns. I mean, they're sharing. You know, have
That's
you
not
got
good
any?
either. A 6-year-old, a 6-year-old kid, and then you've got a 16-year-old kid in the same bathroom. You know what I mean?
So you're not happy with
No, no
6-year-olds and 16-year-olds sharing bathrooms?
Big age difference.
What about exams?
Then they can't use a gym hall for 2 months.
So you're against these plans? Yep.
No parking either. That's an issue.
You're in this shop quite a lot. What are the locals saying?
They're not happy.
Oh, no?
Every mum and dad are not happy at all.
Have you met anyone who is happy with the plans?
No, no one.
Do you think there's a lot of confusion? Because we've spoken to a lot of people and they don't seem to know what the plans actually are.
The plans are moving to school, existing school right now, no extension.
No extension?
No extension.
No extension.
So.
And they're cutting the current facilities at the high school,
Correct,
are they?
correct.
Yes.
Which is not good.
Not good.
There's a hole, go through, right here. If I can fit.
You're going into high school.
August 2026.
Okay, so you'll be in S1 this time next year.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah.
So, do you understand what the plans are? Explain them to
I
you.
know that like primary school children might be moving up to the high school, but I don't know the exact reason for that. No.
How does that make you feel?
Well, if you're obviously a high school kid, you want to get away from the primary school children, and you want to be treated more like an adult. At least that's the way I want to feel like that.
Are you comfortable with sharing a building with primary school kids?
Well, no, not really.
And you have got a child who is going into high school next year. What are your main concerns? Do you support the project or?
I'm not very happy about it, to be honest, because it's sort of been a bit of a confusion with it. Like, I thought that there would be a primary or something put as an extension beside the high school for the children to go in. But what I've learned now is that they're going to build porta cabins beside it. The art students are meant to be going in there, and then they'll put the primary kids up on the top floor.
So you thought that they were going to extend to high school and create a new primary school?
Yes, that's what I believed, that I thought there was an extension. Rooms are closed and it'll only be the younger ones. Shared bathrooms. What's going to happen there? Do you know?
So, just to clarify, you are uncomfortable with secondary school and primary school children sharing bathrooms, changing rooms, gym facilities?
Yes. They have to get changed.
There's lots of things like that are cropping up, and I think just the way that the consultations come out and the way that it's presented has led people to think that they're still getting an extension of the primary.
Yep. There has been a bit of misleading there. I've spoken to a lot of people that have children in Eyemouth, and they were led to believe that there were going to be a separate one, so they now think, oh, I've thought about this wrong, I've maybe not read it right. They've just felt that it's not been plain and simple to them.
So the current Eyemouth High School is built for 500 students at maximum capacity. How do they expect an additional 400 students to go into the building without extending the building size? How does that work?
That's a very good question, and it's one that I will ask on your behalf and get an answer to, because quite frankly I do not know the answer to that.
Again, if they're put on the top floor, you know what kids are like, they could swing for the banisters. It is a silly thing to think about, but there's safety there as well, because we know what young kids are like. Because
it's so high and overlooks the lower floors, that is all going to be, that's planned to be filled in.
Perfect, because that would be my worry.
Does that not ruin the aesthetic of the school though? Because that'll kind of drastically cut down on natural light, and it'll just, how will that work?
I don't know. That will affect the natural light. It will affect the whole idea behind the school, that was to have a very tall centre area with the classrooms around it. On SBC figures for building a standalone primary.
Could you explain that counter proposal to us?
From what I understand, some local architects that went to Eyemouth High School, they've come up with, based on SBC figures for other projects, how much a standalone primary would cost. It's not tailored to Eyemouth. The plan was sort of a basic primary, and it came in at the right cost.
Not big enough. You know, where's the teachers, all the helping, you know, the ones that help, the classroom assistants. There's a lot, and Eyemouth is growing. And you've got to think, we're going to have the cluster schools also coming down, so have they put those figures in? They know, like, oh, we're going to have this many.
Eyemouth Primary and High School is going against the trend. Nationally, the figures are going down for attendance.
Yeah.
Eyemouth is growing the role for the high school and the primary. So going forward, we've got another, I think Berwickshire Housing's doing another 100 houses.
Yes.
That's another potentially 100 families.
Yeah.
Concerns we had was about fire drills,
Yes.
fire escapes.
Yeah.
You know, if it's...
Yeah.
Well, I've seen that high school when there's a fire drill, and how many kids go into the football pitch, is it? The rugby pitch.
Yeah.
And it's carnage for the amount of children on there, so I don't know how they fit a primary school onto that. How do they factor that in? I don't know. A single person who's read the proposal, who has supported it.
Yeah.
So I think the top and bottom of it is that they're increasing the attendance by, you know, about 90%, but not the capacity.
If that's how you want to put it.
The high school still have a horticulture department.
The horticulture department on the plan that I saw was reduced to a couple of raised beds.
As well, there is a movement to get, especially younger people, outside and get in touch with nature and learning through play, which is a big thing. How do you expect them to do that if you're reducing the size of the horticulture department and outdoor space? That doesn't seem
I don't think
feasible.
You can. You just can't, so I would agree with you. The intention is to alter the upstairs to accommodate the younger ones and move the upstairs classes of technical, and then my alarm goes off. You can edit that out.
That's fine.